Hello and welcome to Barre Scuplt. This is Amanda. Let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up. We will use a ball as well as a set of light weights for today's class. You will also need a sturdy surface such as a bar if you have one. If not, no worries whatsoever. You can also use a countertop. I've even seen people use oven stoves. Just don't pull off of it. Make sure you're leaning into it rather. You can also use a chair ledge, a couch ledge, preferably a higher chair when it comes towards about the hip, maybe a little bit higher. And a set of light weights, of course, I did not already mention that. Let's go and get started with warm-up. A light jog, standing in place. Bring your knees to about hip height. And then go ahead and stretch the same arm, same leg, long in opposite directions. Keeping it going. If you're tracking your workouts on any device, feel free to go ahead and set that now. Still going. Same arm, same leg, reaching long in opposite directions. Keeping it going. Let's do one more on each side. And then from a standing position, a hip opener over to a side lunge. Keeping your chin and chest nice and lifted, sticking your bum back. Toes are facing forward, maybe slightly outwards. Sinking your hips nice and low. Give me one more on each side. Nice hip opener over to a side lunge, pressing your hips back before coming down to a low wide squat. So your feet are wide and your hips, toes are turned out. Sink your hips down towards your heels. Reach your arms out by your side. Reach down, tapping the opposite inside ankle. Coming all the way up to a full squat position with your shoulders stacking over your hips. Sticking your bum back. Opposite fingertips towards the inside of your opposite ankle. One more on each side. Then we're going to come back to our upright position. Arms forward in a windmill motion. Chest is lifted. Warming up those shoulders. Go ahead and reverse the direction. Still keeping your shoulders stacked over your hips. Keep a deep bend in your knees. With your hand on top of your hips, slightly hinge forward at your waist so you can feel if you're hinging at your waist. Go ahead and give yourself a nice big hug and then squeeze your shoulder blades together as you open the arms up towards the ceiling. Nice big hug and then opening the arms up. Let's do a few more just like this. And then gently coming down to a runner's lunge, left leg forward, right knee back, pressing into that left knee, opening up your right hip, and then draw your hips back as you straighten that front left leg, maybe point, flex, or circle out that ankle. And then gently switching sides, big step forward with your right foot, pressing into that right knee, opening up your left hip on this side. And then pulling your hips back, straighten your front right leg, maybe point and flex the toes, circle out the ankle. Come on up to standing, roll your shoulder blades back, roll your shoulder blades forward. Shake out anything else that you might need to. All right, let's go ahead and grab our set of light weights. One weight in each hand. You can also use candles, water bottles, soup cans, whatever you have around, or just your body weight, of course. From here, we're going to come to a standing position with our hands in by our side. We're going to step our right foot out, back in, step your left foot out, back in. So your heels are together, your toes are apart in that V stance, first position. Palms are facing in towards one another. Squatting down lower into that wide plie. Chest stays lifted. Keeping it going. Alternating right steps out, right steps in, and then to the left. Still going, still moving. Palms are facing in, elbows close in towards your body. Chest is lifted. Relax your shoulders down from your ears. Still going here. Almost there. Keeping it going. Give me one more on each side, wherever you're at. And then once you get there, find your low, wide second. So your feet are wide, your hips, toes still turned out. This time your palms are facing upward. We're going to add a bicep curl as we lower the hips, lower the arms as we extend the legs straight. Keep it going. So the deeper bend in your knees, the deeper the bend in your elbows. Palms are facing up this time. Bicep curl, chest is lifted. moving with control, moving with your breath. Your core is engaged. Squeeze your glutes as you gently come to standing position. Think about squeezing your inner thighs towards one another, working the inner and outer thighs here, working your biceps with the bicep curls. You got this. Palms face up, chest is lifted. Still going. We're going to hold it low here. Hold it low in the squat. Bring the arms out in front so your elbows are at the same height as your shoulders. Your knuckles are touching. We're going to alternate raising and lowering the heels as we simultaneously open and close the arms. So your right heel lifts, your arms open. As your right heel lowers, your arms close back towards one another. Elbows remain nice and lifted. Working the corners of your chest here. Still going, still moving. Alternating heel raise and lower with the chest open and closed. Knuckles touch, and then elbows pull back towards one another, keeping that soft bend in your elbows. Still going, still moving. We're going to come to that sturdy surface next with your left hip towards that bar or that ledge. Give me a few more. Let's do one more on each side. Go ahead and come on to standing. You can set the weight down with your left hand. So keeping the weight in your right hand. Bring your left hip towards the bar. Feet are hip width apart and parallel. From here, we're going to come up high onto our tippy toes. We're going to go ahead and have the palm facing up, elbow in close to your side. We're going to lower our knees, moving our hips down as we extend our right arm forward. Keeping it going, your chest is lifted. So it's as if you are sliding down a wall behind you and your back remains touching. You can also face that bar or that ledge, still staying high on your tippy toes, extend and then pull it in. So your elbow bends back towards your body and then extends forward. Keep it going, moving with control, moving with intention. You got it. Almost there. A few more. Go ahead and hold it nice and low. With the arms still out in front of you, we have a bicep curl. So holding those heels lifted. Maybe sinking your hips an inch or two lower. Bicep curl. Holding in that low squat. Your feet and your knees are hip width apart and parallel. Keeping it going. It's a little toasty in here, so I want to turn on the AC. All right, still going. Feet are nice and high. Hold the hips low. Bicep curl with just that right arm. Bends and extends. You got it. Right arm bicep curl. Bends and extends. Keep it going. Chest stays lifted. We're going to lower those heels and add a raise and lower as we work the triceps. Coming up next, give me a few more. Keep the hips nice and low. Feel that burn. One more. All right, go ahead and flatten your feet, bringing the soles of your feet down. We're going to extend our right arm straight back. We're going to lift that right arm. We lift the heels and lower. So you're lifting the heels as you simultaneously lift the right arm back. Your palm is facing inwards towards your body. Your right arm is straighter. Your right arm is higher. Your hips and your shoulders are staying low. It's as if they're not even moving. You're slightly hinged forward, whether you're leaning in towards that bar, that countertop, or that ledge, or you have your left hand gently pressing into the bar. Heels raised, heels lower, keeping that hinge forward. Still going. Almost there. Let's do a few more just like this because it's so fun. Go ahead and hold those heels lifted. Don't hate me. Arm stays up. We're going to pulse the hips as we simultaneously pulse that right arm as if we did not get enough tricep work previously. Tiny pulses here, still hinging forward. Gaze remains out in front of you. Your feet are hip width apart and parallel, so you're sinking your hips low. So this time, Your heels stay lifted. You're pressing your hips down as you lift the right arm up, and then you're bringing your hips back towards your right arm as you go ahead and draw that right arm back down towards your body. You can, of course, also work from flat feet or from low heels with your heels to a hover. Keeping it going. Tiny little lifts with the pulse of the hips. Still going. We're going to add some movement in here. All right, so still with that right hand, go ahead and tap the floor coming into that squat. Come into a hammer curl with your heels. Press up to an overhead reach. And then keeping it going. Flat feet as you come to that squat hammer curl. As you lift the heels, overhead press. Moving here with control. Just combining all of those moves that we just did. Still going. Still moving. Almost there. Keep it going. We're going to grab that ball next. Still going. Still moving. Right arm down towards the floor. Go ahead and grab me that hammer curl, palm facing in. As you lift the heels, come to standing with an overhead reach. Give me one more. All right, go ahead and grab that ball. Place it between your thighs. You can also use a block if you'd like. You can use a pillow. Come back to your tippy toes. We're going to bring that elbow to 90 degrees, palm is facing in, and we're going to press up with the arm as we squeeze the thighs together. Working the inner and outer thighs. By keeping your heels lifted, you're also working your calves, you're working your quads, tops of your thighs, and now we're working into our right shoulder. Keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. Avoid squeezing them up towards your ears. Relax your forehead, maybe smile, reminding yourself that it's just barre. You're just working out. Right arm faces in, 90-degree bend, and then you're pressing your knuckles or your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Still going. Still moving. All right, go ahead and shake it out. Set that right weight down. From here, still with that ball, feet are flat. We're going to alternate raising and lowering the heels so your hips stay nice and low. Your chest with it. So avoid hinging forward. You want to keep your body upright to keep the focus in your lower body, keeping the focus in your legs. Still going. We'll get to the glutes later on in class. Still going. Still moving. Alternating heels raise and lower. You got this. Still with that ball between your thighs. In fact, I think we'll make it more fun when we work the left side. We will keep the ball between our thighs. All right, finish up where you're at. Still with that ball. Maybe grab us to the bar before we switch to the left side. Now with your right side to the bar, grabbing a weight with your left hand. Same thing here, but we're going to work that left side. So I'll show you. Imagining that this is the bar over here on the side. So you're going to go ahead and come to your tippy toes. Your palm is facing inward. Sorry, your palm is facing up. We're going to extend and pull it in. So full range of motion. Your palm is facing up. Your back is flat. Your shoulders are stacked directly over your hips. Maybe bring your heels a little bit higher, rising higher on the balls of your feet. Maybe sink your hips lower. Challenge yourself. You got this. Left arm extends and pull it back in. Keeping it going here. Extend, pull it in. Palm is facing up. That right hand is just resting lightly on the bar. Keeping it going here. Give me one more. Go ahead and hold it slightly out. We're going to add in that bicep curl. Tiny bicep curl. So as you notice, we still have a ball between our thighs. So we're reminding ourselves, we're keeping everything nice and tight, squeezing your thighs together, keeping your knees and your feet hip width apart and parallel, adding that bicep curl. Keep it going. moving with control, moving with intention, bicep curl on the left side. You got this. Almost there. Still going. Whew. All right. We'll be moving on here in just a second. Keep it going. Bicep curl here. We're going to work into that tricep next. Give me one more. All right, go ahead and lower the heels. Extend that left arm back. Your palm is facing inwards. You're slightly hinging forward. So from here, we're going to lift the heels. We lift the left arm and then lower the heels. We lower that left palm back towards your toes, maybe reaching for your heels. Keep it going. Maybe get that left arm straighter. Get longer behind you. Palm is facing in towards your body. Left arm raise as both heels lift high towards the ceiling. Think about wearing the highest set of high heels that you can imagine. Keep it going. Raise and lower both the left arm and the heels, rocking high onto your tippy toes. Keep it going. We have those pulses next, so enjoy the alternating raise and lower of both your heels and your left tricep. Keep it going, keeping that slight hinge forward. Still going. You got it. All right, hold that hinge. From here, we're going to pulse the hips as we simultaneously pulse the left arm up. So imagine sinking your hips further back, further down towards your heels as you simultaneously lift the left arm. So same range of motion. You're lifting your arm and your glutes in opposite directions. Keep it moving. Almost there. We have lots of good floor movement coming up next. Tiny pulses. Left arm straighter, left arm longer. Sink your hips lower, coming back to where you started, maybe even lower than where you started. Still going. We're going to add that movement, adding in the floor tap next. All right, give me a few more here. Let's make it 2 and 3. Go ahead and rest your heels down. Maybe shake it out with that left hand. We're going to try tap the floor, hammer curl with the high heels, and then lift the left arm up as you come to standing. Keeping it going here. Still going. Still moving. Almost there. Come to a low squat. Reaching your left arm towards your toes. Go ahead and draw a hammer curl with your big thumb up towards your left shoulder, coming up high on those heels, staying low in that squat, and then straighten your legs as you come to a standing overhead position with your left arm reaching high overhead. Keep it going. Almost there. Low squat, reach the arm up and over. All right, give me one more. Make it your best yet. All right, sink your hips nice and low. I know we're all probably shaking at this point. That's okay. Elbows bent at nice, so with your palm facing in towards your body. From here, we're going to squeeze the knees and you simultaneously press the left arm up, working into that left shoulder. Be mindful not to scrunch your ear up. Keep your ear nice and relaxed. Keep your shoulder down. Slow it down as much as you need to. Keep it going. Trying to stay high on those tippy toes, raising your heels even more. Left arm extends up towards the ceiling and then bends back at 90. Still going, still moving. Your hips stay low. Squeezing that ball between your thighs. Almost there. You got it. All right, go ahead and set that weight and that ball down. We're still going to be in a standing position. Now we're going to go ahead and face your bar or your ledge, whatever you're working with. Go ahead and bring your left forearm down, box out your right hand. From here, we're going to draw our heels together, our toes are pressed. We're back to that first position. We're going to extend our right leg back to a diagonal. From here, strong point through your right toes. We're going to lift that leg up and over for rainbows. Tiny lifts up and over. Keep it going. That right leg is straight. So you're drawing that right leg out to diagonal from your right hip and out to diagonal as far as you can from your left hip. Keep it going. So you're slightly hinging forward. Keep a soft bend in your standing left knee. Just that right leg reaches up and over. Give me one more. Full range of motion. Up and over on both sides before coming back to where we started. Your right leg is out to diagonal, straight the right leg, strong point through your toes. We're going to raise and lower that right leg out to diagonal, directly out from your hip. Keep it going, slow and controlled. Think the slower, the better. Think about how slow you're taking to raise that leg up. Do not let that leg just drop down. Control the weight of your own body here. Controlling the motion. Leg raised, leg lowers. Keeping it going. Almost there. Tiny raise, tiny lowers. Let's do a few more just like this because it's oh so fun working the outer corner of your right glute. Next one, go and hold that right leg up. Draw your heel close in towards your glute so your heel is at least a 90-degree bend, flexing your toes. From here, we're going to slide that right leg back and then bring it back forward. So we're almost keeping it as if we're sliding across a tabletop. Your right ankle and foot is flexed. Your right ankle and your right knee are in line with one another. So you're not letting those feet drag down like this, or you're not lifting them up high. They're nice and level. Keeping it going. Keeping that soft bend in your staying left knee. If you find that you're shifting your weight into your left leg, move your weight over to the right. You should feel that pinch in your outer right hip. A few more just like this. We've got one more fun move before we switch to the left side, keeping everything symmetrical. Go and hold that leg back to diagonal. We're going to raise and lower. So right back to where we started, except this time we're keeping our heel close in towards our glutes. Your right foot is flexed, tiny raise and lower. Imagining that your right knee is waving to the person out diagonally behind you. Keeping it going, just raise and lower. Tiny movements. Maybe you thought when you lifted that leg up high, that was as high as you could get it. Find that even deeper pinch by raising that leg up even higher, barely releasing it down. So it's like you're trying to lift up from the highest possible point. Keep it going. Give me a few more on this side. Then we're going to switch to the left side. Give me 3 more. That's 2. And 1. Set the right leg down. Maybe shake it out here. Recompress yourself. Bring your heels back together. Touch toes are open. Go ahead and draw your right forearm into the bar or your ledge. Back to your left forearm. We're going to extend our left leg back to diagonal. Straighten your left leg. Strong point through your toes. Soft bend your standing knee. From here, reach out left leg up and over. Maybe your toes tap. Maybe they just hover the ground. Either one is fine. Listening to your body. Maybe one side different than the other. Taking note. Keeping it going. Left leg reaches up and over. Right forearm just gently resting into the bar. Keeping your left wrist pressed into the bar. Soft bend and that standing right knee. Keeping that soft bend and that knee and not locking it out allows you to keep the focus, keep the work in your outer left glute. Give me 1 more. Full range of motion, up and over both sides. And then once you get to where we started, that left leg back out to diagonal, straight left leg, strong point through the toes. We're going to raise and lower that left leg just out from the diagonal. Keeping that left hip open. Keep it going. Raise and lower. Right forearm stays onto the bar. Left arm is boxed out. Keep it going. Opening up that left hip here. You got it. We're going to bend that knee next. Keep it going. Raise and lower. Left leg is straight. Soft bend in your right knee. Next one, go ahead and hold that left leg lifted. Flex your foot and then draw your heel close in towards your glutes. So it's about a 90-degree bend. From here, we're going to slide it back and then back out to the diagonal. So we're sliding that left leg as if it is on a tabletop. Your left ankle and left knee are in line with one another. Maybe look back and check so you're not letting that heel drag down. That's going to pull onto your outer hip that you don't want and not bringing that leg up. We want to work the focus in your outer left glute here. Keep it going, sliding that leg out to diagonal and then straight back. Your core is engaged. Still going, still moving. We're almost there. Next one, go ahead and hold that leg out to diagonal, still with your knee bent, foot is flexed. We have tiny pulses, tiny raises at the very top. Maybe this side is more challenging. Maybe it's a little bit easier for you than the right side. Doing what you can today, still with your right forearm onto the bar, left arm is boxed out. Soft bend in your standing right knee. Your right toes are turned out slightly. Your left foot is flexed. Your left heel is close in towards your glutes with your knee bent. And you're just raising and lowering. Imagining that you're waving with that right knee. Keep it going. Tiny raise, tiny lower. You've got this. Keeping it going, keeping it moving. Y'all probably heard my knees crack just now. All right, we're going to come down onto the floor next. Give me a few more wherever you're at. Give me 3 more. That's 2. And 1. All right, go ahead and shake it out. Come on down to the floor. We're going to bring that ball with us. It's going to be our best friend. Maybe not so much best friend. All right, place that ball behind your right knee. From here, we're going to come to a tabletop with your wrist directly under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. We're going to draw your heel close in towards your glutes. That way you can keep the ball just where it's at. Strong point through the toes. Draw the knee into your chest and then press the toes up towards the ceiling. Full range of motion. Your core is engaged. So avoid allowing your belly to hammock. Bring your navel towards the floor. Avoid rounding your spot finger. Keeping it going. Working just the lower base of your right glute. Keeping it going. Full range of motion. Knee to chest, and then your right toes up towards the ceiling. Give me 1 more wherever you're at. Knee to chest, and then once you get there, bring your toes towards the ceiling. Flex your toes. From here, pressing up, tiny little presses. You're still keeping your right heel close in towards your glutes because you do not want that ball to roll away. You want to keep it directly behind your right knee. Your core is engaged. You're drawing your navel deep into your spine. Your back is flat. Your neck is nice and relaxed. Avoid scrunching your chin towards your chest. Relax your shoulders down from your ears. Maybe press your palms deeper into the earth. Pulling your core away, pulling your shoulders up. Keep it going. Tiny presses here. We're going to add some hip mobility next. Tiny little presses. Go ahead and hold that press up. We're going to bring that right knee down towards the left, up and around into a circle. Your toes are still flexed. Up and around, moving in that circle, slow and controlled. Keeping it going. Right heel up towards the ceiling, right knee down towards the left, up and around. Give me 1 more in this direction. And then coming back to starting, right knee towards the left, press the heel up, down, and around. So just reversing that direction, the opposite of what you started with. Your core is engaged. Keeping it going. Almost there. Right knee up, down, and around. Still going, still moving. Working that right oblique, working the outer and base of your right glute. Give me one more. All right, go ahead and rest your right knee down towards your left. You can also bring your left forearm down, keeping your right arm boxed out if you would like, and then a hip opener out to the side. Right knee, maybe it taps the left, and then your left knee, still staying bent to keep that ball directly behind it, presses out directly from your right hip, working that outer right hip one more time. Leg lifts, leg lowers, keeping it going. Still with that ball or whatever object you choose behind your right knee. Moving with control, moving with intention. You got this. Almost there. Whether your left forearm is down or your left wrist is down, your right wrist stays down. Give me a few more. Let's make it 2. And last one. Yes, you can. All right, go ahead and grab that ball. Maybe move your hips from side to side for a nice stretch. All right, once you're done with that, now of course we have the left side, keeping everything nice and symmetrical. I know, I can tell you guys are already super excited. You already know what's going to happen. There's no surprises. Come back to your tabletop, wrists are on your shoulders, knees are on your hips. Point your left toe, left ball behind your left knee. Draw your left knee into your chest and then press your toes up towards the ceiling. You're going to feel a nice stretch and your left quad as you press your left toes up towards the ceiling. If that left knee extends up past your left hip. So keep that in mind. Think of it as a nice little stretch for all the work that we started with in a standing position by pressing your toes up higher. You're also simultaneously working the base of your left glute here. Avoid pressing into the right side of your body. That side already did this work. Now it gets to relax. Keep it going. Left knee in towards your chest, and then left toes up towards the ceiling, pressing harder, pressing deeper up towards the ceiling. Make big toes feel like they can touch the ceiling. Give me one more. When you get there, hold that press up, flex your toes, tiny little presses here. So now instead of pressing your toes up towards the ceiling, you're trying to stamp the sole of your left foot up in towards the ceiling. So with your left knee bent to keep that object directly behind your left knee, your core is engaged. Avoid rounding your spine. Avoid hammocking your belly and arching your spine. Just bringing your gaze gently down towards your thumb and index fingers. Avoid looking side to side. I'll let you know what we have coming next. Don't you worry. You might even remember from the last time that we did it on the right side. Tiny little presses up here. We have those circles next. Hold that press up. We're going to go ahead and draw the leg down towards the right knee, up and out and over. So full circle. Left knee down towards the right. Maybe it comes parallel. Maybe it just swipes like a credit card. And then pressing out from the left hip up and around. Drawing that circle with your left knee. Keeping it going. Your left toes are flexed. Your left heel is close in towards your glute. Slow, controlled movements here. Working into that hip. Opening up the hip even more. Give me one more in this direction. And then go ahead and draw the left knee in towards the right. Press the heel up towards the ceiling, out and around. Moving here with control. Circles with your breath. Left hip out and around, and then up. Give me one more. Go ahead and rest that left knee in line with your right. You're welcome to draw your right forearm down, keeping your left arm boxed out, or you can also keep your right wrist down. From here, we're going to open the left hip out to the side. Keep it going. Open and close. Full range of motion. Your core remains engaged, lifting and lowering from the left hip directly out to the side. Keep it going. Almost there. You got this. Raise and lower. We're going to come onto the floor next, and we're going to swap that ball out for a set of light weights again, but keep that ball close by. Don't let it roll away too far. All right, release that left knee down. Grab that ball. Maybe move your hips from side to side for a nice stretch. All right, and then gently come on down to the floor. We're going to lay on our bum, rather sit, not lay. Grab one weight in each hand. From here, all right, we actually are going to lay. Extend your legs to a 90-degree bend. Flatten your feet onto the floor, one weight in each hand. Arms are overhead. We're going to reach the arms up as we come to a full setup, right over left, left or right. So it's like we're driving a steering wheel. Not sure who drives like that. Hopefully none of us do. But full setup, straight arms, arms out in front. Palms are facing each other, right over left, left or right, back to your hands being parallel, and then arms overhead. Straight the arms the entire time, right over left, left or right. Once you get to that setup, your feet stay planted into the earth. Your knees stay bent. Keep it going. Sure, the arms are better. Give me one more wherever you're at. All right. Once you get there, all right, go ahead and roll back. We're going to draw legs to a tabletop. Your arms are overhead. From here, we're going to have the right leg extends, raise, lower, and pulls back in. Just moving the right leg. So your right knee bends to 90, extend it long to a hover, raise and lower that right leg, drop back in over the hip. Just the right leg is moving. You can keep your head down. You can also tuck your chin into your chest, keeping a little space between your chin and your chest. Imagine you have a clementine under your chin and you don't want to pop it. You can also just relax your head flat on the floor, gazing up towards the ceiling. Let's do a few more here, just with the right leg. Give me one more wherever you're at. And then drawing the right knee back and over the right hip. Now we have the left side. Left leg extends long, left leg raise, lower, pull it back and over the hip. Extend long to a hover, raise, lower, back over the hip. Strong point through your toes. So your lower back is pressed deep into the floor, deep into the mat. If you find that your lower back is lifting up, or if you have any pain or discomfort in your lower back, don't lower your leg as far. You can also lower your opposite leg that's just staying still to plant that foot flat on the floor. Keep it going. Almost there. Still going. Keep it going. Give me one more on the left side. Full range of motion. Go ahead and draw both of your knees back over your chest. You can also have your feet flat wherever you're at. Arms are up towards the ceiling. We're going to extend and bend our knees. So if your feet are flat, you're just lifting your legs up to diagonal and then gently tapping your toes down. If you're starting from a tabletop position with your knees bent at 90 over your hips, you're raising your legs to the ceiling and then bending them at 90. Wherever you're at, your arms are staying up towards the ceiling. Your core is engaged. Your lower back is pressed deep in towards the floor. Keep it going. Still going, still moving. Give me one more. Extend, and then bend. Bend your legs all the way, bringing your feet to the floor. If they were previously into a tabletop, grab that ball, place the ball between your thighs, still with one weight in each hand. Your feet are grounded, your feet are hip width apart and parallel. We have a neutral press with a glute bridge raise and lower. So squeeze your glutes as you lift your hips up towards the ceiling, simultaneously pressing both of your knuckles up towards the ceiling with or without those weights. So your elbows are bent at 90, hovering by your rib cage as your hips lower, maybe barely tapping, maybe they just come to a hover, and then pressing the arms up as you simultaneously press the hips up. Imagine somebody has a string on your hip, underneath your hips, and you're lifting it even higher towards the ceiling. Core is engaged. Squeeze your glutes even more. All right, give me one more wherever you're at. Hold the hips lifted. From here, we're going to squeeze the ball with skull crushers. Palms stay facing, and so we're working those triceps. One more time. Working those glutes, working the inner and outer thigh. So your hips are nice and high. Your shoulders are still pressed into the floor. Avoid coming to a full bridge or a wheel. Just a small glute bridge with your hips lifted. Your core is engaged. Squeeze the ball between your thighs, simultaneously bending and extending at your elbows, drawing your thumbs and your knuckles towards your hairline. Please don't hit your face. Keep it going. Tiny squeezes here. And then go ahead and release your hands and still with your hips up towards the ceiling. We have a scoop up and over to the right, scooping up to the left. So you're drawing your hips down towards the floor, and then your left hip up towards the left. Come back down, right hip up towards the right. Keep it going, squeezing everything. Almost there. Give me one more on each side. Tiny squeezes. Release everything down. Release the ball by your side and both of the weights. Go ahead and draw both of your feet and your hands up towards the ceiling. Maybe point and flex your toes. Maybe circle out your wrists and your ankles. Reverse the direction. And then go ahead and draw your knees into your chest. You can grab the soles of your feet for a happy baby. You can also grab the back side of your thighs. Maybe rolling side to side if that feels comfortable for you. And then draw your knees into your chest, wrapping your body around your legs. Rock and roll yourself a few times along your spine for a nice spinal stretch before coming up to a seated position. Go ahead and extend your right leg long on the floor. Draw your left foot in towards your inner right thigh. Right hand comes to the inside of your right leg. Left arm reaches up overhead. Chin and chest is lifted for a nice stretch all along the left side body. On your next exhale, draw your left arm down. Right arm comes to the outside of your right leg. Draw your nose to your knee, your heart to your thigh. Both hips stay facing and press into the earth. Gently roll up on your next exhale. Extend your left leg long. Draw the sole of your right foot into the inside of your left leg. Left hand comes to the inside of your left thigh. Right arm reaches up overhead, looking out under your right armpit. And just holding here, maybe circling out your left ankle if that feels good. And then on your next breath, bring your right hand down to the inside of your left leg. Left arm comes to the outside. And then bring your nose to your knee, your heart towards your thigh. And then gently rolling up slowly on your next exhale. Go ahead and draw the soles of the feet together for a butterfly stretch. Maybe move your knees up and down. You can keep your heels close in toward your body. You can also extend your feet away, making more of a diamond shape with your legs. If you'd like a deeper lower back stretch, place your hands underneath your calves and then place your palms on the top portion, the top shoelace portion of your feet, and then draw your spine nice and long, and then draw the temple towards your heels, towards your toes, without forcing it. And then gently roll up on your next exhale. Roll your shoulder blades back, roll them forward. come on up to a standing position with your feet wider than your hips. Nice big inhale. And one more. Fantastic work, everyone. Thank you so very much. Again, my name's Amanda. Hope you enjoy as much as I did. Have a great rest of your weekend.